different openings from HuK every single time.
Yeah.
And conversely and predictably, we've seen the exact same opening from Polt every single time. And what's so scary and funny about that is that Polt doesn't really have a weakness. We've seen it exploited in a couple different ways, but he's added little things like earlier bunkers, a little bit more aggressive scouting, leaving Marines in the mineral line versus not leaving Marines in the mineral line. But what other tricks does HuK have up his sleeve? We've seen Oracle, we've seen DT, we've seen Blink.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Nexus First. This is a terrible map for Nexus First. So I super hope we don't see that, because again, we've seen the Reaper Scout every single time from Polt without delay. So what does HuK do here? I don't disagree with you. I feel like if you look at it in terms of what has he been successful with, it certainly is
there's something to get him a little bit of a catapult into the mid game, being a little bit ahead. Doesn't have to be dramatically ahead, but I think that's certainly what he's going to be looking for. But here we are, guys, in game number 5 of this best of 5 Lone Star Clash 3. It is Championship Sunday. The winner of this game will move on to the next round, to the quarterfinals. The loser will be out of Lone Star Clash 3. In the bottom right-hand location, I present your blue Protoss player representing Team Evil Geniuses. Give it up for HuK.
And his opponent spawning in the top left-hand side, smashing in convincing fashion the game before. It is CM Storm Polt. And again, I see these storylines. I see a Polt who went into this probably feeling extremely confident, like you've been saying over and over again, and it's very true. He should feel confident. HuK is, you know, for all intents and purposes, from his perspective, beneath him. And he should be the tournament winner. That's Polt's mentality. That should be his mentality. But on the flip side, HuK impressing a lot of people, taking at least a couple of games off of Polt and putting him on that back foot, putting him in a place where he could have lost 3-1 to HuK. But all of a sudden, HuK is now in that game 5 where he's on the precipice again. Is this a great round of 8 showing, which, you know, HuK has done many a time before, this year and the year before? Or is this the HuK that spills over into that top 4, into that top 2, and really shows us the old HuK, the tournament-winning HuK that people really got behind?
HuK is definitely a fighter, and this probe taking an interesting path, I guess, looking for potential proxies there from Polt. But yeah, I mean, this can certainly go either way. Something I like thinking about sometimes is the momentum kind of coming into this game. Like we came off of a game 4 where HuK went for a 4-gate strategy, and yeah, this pro might be up to no good. He went for a 4-gate strategy. It didn't work out. So how that kind of affects his mindset coming into this game 5, whereas Polt, very confident, able to really shut down HuK in that last game, he might be feeling a little bit better. But in any case, we see HuK building a pylon on the left-hand side of the map.
Oh my God.
This Reaper.
Oh, it's just gonna miss.
Oh, the pro? Oh my God.
It just misses, and this is so crazy because it comes out at that angle because of the map, I think. I didn't see if he set the rally point there. No, it's scouting around. Polt's star sense is insane. Oh my God. He's going to scout it. And he never checks around with this Reaper. He never does. In every game before this, he goes straight to his opponent's base. But Polt smells something, and he scouts the super fast starport now, or Stargate, excuse me. Now this will still finish. A Reaper does not have the DPS to bring it down. And it's too far out of position for Marines to go in and help it. So you will have an Oracle this game. It's just a question of how far does HuK want to take this? Does he also add gateways? Because right now he's going across the map with units. He could thin out the Marine population. Yeah,
this can still do damage. I know, you know, he scouted it and whatnot, but again, Stargate, Oracle, at this fast, this speed, especially when your opponent opens Reaper, it still has a lot of potential to do damage. A Stalker coming forward here to try to deal with this Reaper, and it looks like that pylon will not get taken out, and we're gonna have to see how much damage this Oracle gets done. I also wanna shed some light on the fact that Polt, I think what might have, actually, we're gonna hold that thought. Oracle coming in here, coming into the main base, looking for damage to get done. There's a bunker, but let's see how many SCV kills he can get, up to 2. Gonna back away.
Very bold from Polt. That's only 4 Marines. HuK actually could have challenged those Marines, but he didn't. He instead went for the sure thing, which is going to be the economic harm, and he gets himself 5 SCV kills. Zelt dies for free. That's not a big deal. And another Oracle is coming out, as well as a Nexus behind it. So Polt's on the back foot just kind of by builds right now, by the way. He's going to get a Reaper out there because he needs to understand what's happening. We've seen a gateway timing to follow this up. We've well, again, HuK's capable of anything, and Polt knows that. So he's gonna want to really get that information.
All right. Sorry, I'm.
Oh no, you're doing everything, man. You are production, you are casting. That's fine.
Okay,
I'll pick it up.
I did.
Okay. We got a second Oracle coming out. Now the important thing about the second Oracle, 6 Marines not going to do it, obviously, but they do show up at the natural, which is the softer target. If they would have gone into the main, this could have been really bad for Polt, but hold that thought. He's going to pull up here, see some Marines here, and he gets 1 kill. That's not that bad for Polt at all.
Poor Marine. Drew the short straw. So yeah, from here, I mean, sure, these Oracles represent a bit of investment. If we're talking about expansion timings, not a huge deal. So I want to get your thoughts on this, actually. Where do we kind of stand right now? Obviously, a pretty wonky opening. What are your senses as far as where this is kind of headed, who might have an advantage, and so on?
Polt, he delayed the engineering bay because he's saying, I'm taking losses. I can't afford to do that as well. He's going to rely on Marines to be kind of his mobile stack defense. But behind this, we have HuK actually warping in a lot of units off these 3 gateways and chrono boosting them, by the way, with a 3rd Oracle coming out. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, says HuK, because he's going to return to that build we saw with the other Oracle game, except this time without a Forge and a little bit more desperate. This is him really wanting to do damage. Now, Polt, for all his instincts, is not building bunkers. He's not really looking to defend this other than with the sheer weight of bio that he's producing, but this attack's coming in, and it's just before stim. Oracle's doing what they can, but it ain't much. 2 go down immediately. The 3rd one is almost dead and will die. HuK not getting the damage done. Polt's just holding with just bio force.
Yeah, and no energy left on those sentries, and you can't really run from this. Once you commit, you kind of commit. Well, he's going to try to run, but Polt is certainly going to try to pursue, and HuK lost his 2 Oracles as well, so HuK going for an attack there, and it definitely did not work out.
Stim has finished. I didn't think so. I was going to, well, HuK wants to give it to him, but Polt probably doesn't want to stim these unmedevaced units just to chase. I say that, but he might. Well, we'll see. HuK's going to pull back. He's, again, flirting with danger. He's trying to buy himself a little bit of time by deflecting with the faster-moving stalkers. But to go back to that attack, that was really bad. That was HuK flirting with winning the game. Yeah. And then it ended up being almost nothing. But we have an Oracle actually at the natural. And there's no Marines here, no missile turrets, doing a ton of damage.
Lonely Marauder wishing he could shoot up.
A ton of damage.
Wow.
And Polt's going across the map. So, I mean, with a Photon Overcharge, which he absolutely has, another Warp in, if Polt loses his army and takes this kind of damage to the backfield, he's in a lot of trouble.
And HuK certainly has obviously has a lot of gateways to warp in units, so he should be able to deal with this. I think Polt is going to test the front door, marching forward, Photon Overcharge being deployed. And, you know, that's a bit of an interesting little thing that just happened there. Polt kind of committing to an attack, being a little bit lackadaisical in his defense of his natural expansion, and Oracle able to get 7 worker kills. And those are the kind of moves as a Protoss player, being a little bit behind there. And I think HuK was behind after going for that big attack, and he might still be a little bit behind. But those are the little things that you need to have happen to try to bring yourself back into a game.
I think it was shown on, I don't think it was shown, but HuK actually loses the Oracle for just 1 SCV kill. So it's, to your point, yes, that's what he needed to do to kind of get back into it. But this game is very much so hanging in the balance for both players, and both players making mistakes, I'll say. Polt's kind of a big fan of trimming corners and you know, like not building missile turrets if he doesn't have to. He's really airtight about that, and that ended up costing him. It's hard to call it a mistake, but it's more like a calculated risk. HuK, on the other hand, really poorly executed the gateway timing attack to follow up the Oracles. I mean, losing 3 Oracles and killing a couple of SCVs, but that's about it, is really bad, especially when there's no missile turrets. If those 3 Oracles continue to live, they are devastating. Like, that base is gone with you know, 4 Oracles as it would have been. And then any Marines that show up, they too die. So it would be a 1 base Polt versus 2 base HuK right now. But because HuK just didn't execute that as well as he probably feels like he could, we're in a situation where, you know, supply-wise, they're about equal. Tech-wise, they're about equal, if there's any way to measure that at all.
Sure.
And both Polt or HuK could win from here, whereas it should have been HuK.
Yeah, still anyone's game.
Yeah, exactly.
3rd command center going down here for Polt has that, you know, he's always going to be making additional expansions. And now they're kind of trying to feel each other out, kind of trying to see, okay, what kind of direction is my opponent heading in? And HuK is actually making a ridiculous amount of stalkers. And he doesn't, does he have blink? I'm not sure.
He does have blink.
Okay. So, yeah, he does have blink. he's not really proceeding. Is he going to make a Robo Bay? I mean, this Robo facility has been down for a while and no Robo Bay to go to Colossi. So I'm looking for that additional tech, right? Either going into the High Templars, either going into the Colossi, or you're doing some huge, massive gateway timing. There's the Robo Bay coming down. So we're getting into that mid-game position, and to kind of talk about the trend that's been happening in the series, we've been saying that Polt is really comfortable in a position like this. So we'll have to see how this kind of proceeds forward.
And you can already see Polt kind of taking up position that Major did in the Major versus HuK series yesterday.
Oh no.
Where both sides of HuK are going to be poked at. And you can see HuK is already developed. He's split up his army. And he's got the Photon Overcharge, Cannon, and Zealot Sentries combo at his natural and main. And he's got Pure Stalker over here at his third.
Wow. Polt coming in from both directions, attacking the third base, attacking the national expansion, but HuK doing a decent job dealing with this, throwing down Guardian Shield and trying to cover both of these fights that are happening. Again, these players playing at such a high level, playing so quickly. Good Blink Stalker control there from HuK, gonna protect that third base. Meanwhile, holding the ramp at his natural. So HuK doing a great job splitting up his army and dealing with that monster Polt, who had, attacking from all those different directions.
I hate to disagree with you, but I would say he did an okay job. But actually, he...
I mean, I just said that based on the third is still alive. I mean...
The third is still alive. He's done an excellent job of keeping the third still alive, yes. But otherwise, he took a lot of damage. The kind of scary thing about making too many Stalkers is that they're actually, they're really good at running down medevacs and getting under Vikings, that kind of thing. But they do not stand up well to Marauders that are stimmed with an attack upgrade underneath medevacs. They just don't. So, nice blink control. He did what he could. He had to split up his units, but without a couple of Zealots or a Guardian Shield to really anchor those Stalkers, they ended up losing about 50% of the Stalkers over there, which were very expensive. You'll notice there's no Colossus out. Never mind, I'm a liar. There's one Colossus out, but as you said, this was already late. Yep. He needed that earlier.
He did. Better late than never, I guess, because in the Colossus, he needs supports. Oh, he's all alone, and Polt able to snipe it down. That's a great feeling. He's going to pick up, going to the main base. Meanwhile, Polt certainly in the third base. His Nexus is going to get destroyed. Polt going back, taking that out, and HuK getting stretched apart here. Losing
not
his
even reacting
third,
in the main. He's losing the upgrades as well.
Both Forge is gone. Polt is in complete control of this game.
Getting the Robo, too. I mean, that was a death stroke right there. That was Polt pulling out his sword and cutting down his opponent, I'll tell you. Even going behind the mineral line, because he's just that kind of baller. He's like, you know what, that's not enough. Both Forges, Robo, Nexus, nah, I can do more, and he's doing more. He very well could end up losing these medevacs if he's not too careful, but at this point in time, who cares? He's up 60 supply. He's just chopped down the tech of HuK, and unfortunately, HuK, he's played an amazing series, but he is... If he wins from here, I'll eat Axel Toss.
Oh,
I promise you.
I'll
that's what's at stake right now.
I'll get a haircut.
Literally a steak.
I think that's as far as I go. But no, that's a great point. I mean, at this stage, Polt is doing absolutely everything right. He's killing every single building that he wants, and he's just stretching HuK apart. And at this point, there's just not enough units for HuK to deal with this, and Polt playing a fantastic series, a fantastic game number 5. And as you said, there's not much HuK can do at this point.
Here we go. Polt's going to push into the natural. HuK making a stand of it as best as he can, but as you were saying, Axel Toss, it's just too much Polt. Polt doing what Polt do, and he's going to shove forward here. Medevac's low on health and energy, but it just doesn't matter. These are stimmed Marines, Marauders. HuK's going to give him everything that he's got. Pulling the probes. He won't get out of this game until you force him to.
HuK holding on. He knows how important this game is. He does not want to go anywhere, but Polt a little bit too strong, finishing this game with his favorite unit, all those Marauders, each of them having a personal medevac, charging into his opponent's natural expansion. There's the GG. Polt takes the first series, and he'll be advancing to the semifinals, and unfortunately, HuK will be knocked out of Lone Star Clash 3, but showing a lot of heart in that series, a lot of skill, but not quite